Alrighty, let's solve these problems. Name it Mrs. Key. Any method, so I can use whatever I want. For fun, let's use substitution. So I'm going to solve for x on my bottom equation. So x equals 13 plus y. I can then plug that into the other one. 13 plus y instead of x. So rewrite the entire equation. The only thing that changes is that x becomes 13 plus y. Distribute that little guy. Now be careful here, because a lot of you like to, at this point, say subtract 2y from both sides or something like that. You're just combining like terms. So 4y and 2y makes 6y. So you have 52 plus 6y equals 10, which means 6y equals negative 42, which means y equals negative 7. We're not done yet, so be careful. You have to plug that back in up here, and 13 minus 7 is 6. So that means the point is 6, negative 7. Make sure you make that point clear to us. Make sure you show your work. This next one. Speaking of showing my work, I'm going to give myself a little more space. There's no 1 in front of any of the variables, so I'm going to go ahead and use elimination. I can get 6 and 4 to go into 12. So I'm going to go ahead and put a negative 2 here and a 3 here. You could go 24, you could go anything you want, as long as they are in common, because I'm looking for opposites. So plus 32y. And make sure you hit that 22 also. You got to distribute that 2 to both those and over there. So negative 44. Saw some errors on that on your quiz. So that's negative 12. And then negative 33y. And then 45. Now we have opposites. So we go, woo! Opposites. Those go away. So that's negative y equals 1, which is like negative 1y. So we divide by negative 1. So y is negative 1. We then have to find x. So you take that y being negative 1 and you plug it into any other equation. I'm just going to plug it in that one right there. Negative 4x minus 11 times negative 1 equals 15. So that's negative 4x. Don't know why I put parentheses there. That was silly. Plus 11 equals 15. Negative 4x equals 4. X equals negative 1. So my point is negative 1, negative 1. Next one. Oh, shrink this back up. Your midterm will be worth 100 points. Ooh, that's a lot of points. 40 questions. 2-point multiple choice questions and 4-point questions. So I'm going to call that x and that y. So x plus y has to be 40. And 2x plus 4y has to be 100. So we have a points equation, which is the bottom equation, and then a number of questions equation, which is the top. Multiple choice plus the free response has to be 40 questions. And then the number of points is 2 points for multiple choice, 4 points for free response. Has to be the 100 points total that you are given. Just for funsies, let's do elimination. Multiply that by negative 2. I'm just going to write it down here because I'm super lazy. And that's going to be negative 80. Distribute that negative 2 to all 3 pieces. Add those up. Smack yourself in the head because you wrote an x instead of a y. And that's going to be a 2y equals 20. Therefore, y is 10. And if y is 10, then x is 30 because that has to equal 40 together. So that means 10 free response and 30 multiple choice. Make sure you answer the question. Next. This one. First line, I'll go ahead and do in red. My starting point is going to be 0, negative 3. 0, negative 3. And then my slope is 4/3. So it means up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 3. To the right, 1, 2, 3. I can do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now, this right here, that tells me dotted line. So make a dotted line. Don't make it solid. That would be wrong. Now I plug in 0, 0. So 0 is greater than negative 3. Is 0 greater than negative 3? Of course it is. So you should over here. The bottom one. It might scare you how that is written. So one thing you could do, I think most of you might do this, is to solve for y. So if you solve for y, you're going to subtract the x and divide everyone by 3. So you can have negative 1/3 x plus 2. You could also just find the points. So I know from standard form there, 6, 0 is going to be a point, because when I make y 0, x has to be 6, and then 0, 2 has to be a point. Doesn't matter which way you think about it, Either way, you're starting at 0, 2, down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3, 6, 0. This is going to be a dotted line again. Dotted, dotted. And then, is 0 greater than 6? No, don't be silly. So then you have to see where they overlap, which is right up in her. Next one. Holy moly, there's 3 of them here. So x is less than or equal to 3. So that's a solid line, and that's definitely a negative 3. Oops, helps to get a pen. And so we draw a solid line at 3. And it says less than, so that means we're going to go this away. We have 5x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 9. I think most of you, as I said before, are going to solve for y. So you subtract the 5x and divide by 3. So you have minus 9 divided by 3 is 3. So you're going to start at, I'll make this one in blue, 0, negative 3. And then down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 3 to the right. This is again a solid line, because it has that equal to portion, so that means it's solid. Plug in 0. We have 0 is greater than or equal to negative 9. Is that true? Of course it is. So we're going to shade over here. And the last one we'll make in red. Our starting point is 0, negative 4. And our slope is up 2 over 1 to the right. Up 2 over 1 to the right. And that's a solid line again. Let's pretend I hit all those points. We plug in 0 for x and y again. 0 is greater than or equal to negative 4. That is also true. So then the only place where we intersect is right here. That's where all 3 colors are. Alrighty, on to solve each quadratic. Okie dokie. I'm going to add 9. And then divide by 36. So that's 9 over 36. Don't go decimals. That's a bad idea. Take the square root of both sides, or root. And make sure you introduce a plus or minus. And the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 36 is 6. Wait a minute. I can reduce 3/6 to 1/2. You could have reduced before you square rooted. Could have called 9/36 1/4. Doesn't matter. The next one. Add the 72. Divide by 2. Take the square root. Don't forget your plus and minus. So now I'm going to have x minus 1 equals positive 6, or x minus 1 equals negative 6. So that means x equals 7, or x equals negative 5. This next one, table, 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 table. Look inside the parentheses. What makes that 0 is 2, so do 2, 3, 4, 1, 0. If I plug in 0, 0 minus 2 is negative 2, square root is 4, times negative 3 is negative 12, plus 4 is negative 8. So 0, negative 8, that's right here. If I plug in 1, 1 minus 2 is negative 1, square root is 1, times negative 3 is negative 3, plus 4 is 1. Did I do that correctly? I'm going to do that again because I'm not convinced. 1 minus 2 is negative 2, squared is 1, times negative 3, and then my plus 4, so 1. Oops. Helps to actually get 1. Wait a minute, silly pants. Negative 3 plus 1 plus 4 is positive 1. So I'm going to make that dot here. It's not letting me erase that one, so that's 1, 1. And then I plug in 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Square root is 0 times negative 3 is 0. Plus 4 is 4. So 2, 4.
So I will get those.
So 2, 4 is my point. Plug in 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Square root is 1 times negative 3 is negative 3 plus 4 is 1. So 3, 1. Hey, that works. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. Square root is 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So negative 8. So mangled that 1 point. Sorry about that. Silly me. And there we go. Next section. We need numbers that multiply to 48 and add to negative 14. So let's think. That's got to be negative 6 and negative 8. So write those down. Now group these two. Take an x out. X minus 6. Group these two. I know I want an x minus 6 here. Of course, I wrote an 8 because I'm silly. And then I want to get a negative 8x, so I'll put a negative 8 there. First parentheses, put that little guy. Second parentheses, put that little guy. Dunzo, crabunzo. Next. We want to multiply to 5 times 12, so that's 60x squared. And we want to add to negative 23x. So that one I can do. That's 5x squared minus 20x minus 3x plus 12. Groupie group. I can take a 5x out of there. X minus 4. Groupie group. I can take a negative 3 out of there. X minus 4. So 5x minus 3. X minus 4. Ooh, time's running out. Better go faster. This next one, I'm going to divide everyone by 2 just to be crazy. Then I need numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to 1. So that's going to be, what is it? Tell me, quickly. Okay, I'll tell you. 4x and negative 3. Groupie group. X plus 4. Groupie group. Negative 3, x plus 4. And then x minus 3, x plus 4. Now you got to solve two equations. X minus 3 equals 0. And x plus 4 equals 0. So x equals negative 4. So those are my two answers. This next one. All right, for this one, I need things that multiply to 882, well, negative, and add to 31. So I totally cheated and already did the work. And those numbers are going to be 49x and 18x. And so groupie group these two. I can take a 7 out of those. 3x plus 7. And groupie group these two. I know I want a 3x plus 7. So I'm going to put a negative 6 here. Go to my next step. 3x plus 7. 7x minus 6. Write two equations. 3x plus 7 equals 0. 7x minus 6 equals 0. X is going to be negative 7/3. Negative. And 6/7. Donezo.